In this our speaking part one, I'd like to ask some questions about traveling. Do you enjoy traveling?
Definitely, I'm a travel freak person. Whenever I get free time, I like to spend my time with some of my friends and travel different natural places. More importantly, I would like to mention about the tree garden which are close to my home. And on the occasions of my weekends or the long vacations, like the summer vacations or the Eid festival, or on the occasions of Bengali New Year, I, along with some of my friends, like to make some a long haul trip, and sometimes I like to go to the places which are full of nostalgic memories of my childhood. And one particular place I would like to mention, and that is the bank of Kushiera River. And whenever I go there, I feel that I am again back to my childhood, and I'm feeling that I'm playing with with my friends, and a lot of things come into my mind.
Have you done much traveling?
Well, it's a funny question for me because I cannot make the proper judgment or measurement whether my traveling is much enough or not. But if I make a comparison between the present and past time, in the early time I used to have a lot of leisure period, and I used to do things at my sweet will. But now in a corporate life, I'm much busy with my students, and more importantly, if I get free time, I just stick to my computers and making files for my class. And but still, when on the occasions of my weekend, I go to back to my village and have some quality times with my family members, and we play chess, and sometimes I'm playing caroms, and these kind of activities are more fun, and it makes me more energetic.
Do you think it's better to travel alone or with other people?
Um, if I take the question personally, then I would say it depends on different circumstances. First of all, in some of the situations we need to stay alone because different things appear before us, and at that time, people need to stay from the touch of other people. But in majority of the cases, if I answer the question generally, then I would say it is better to be in a group to travel some places. At the time, you will feel more secure if something happens to you, especially on a long trip. If you are accompanied by some of your friends, then there is no chance to happen something wrong, and you can gain more knowledge, and you can have discussions, you can have different sessions, and you can make them into memory by taking some pictures if you be in a group.
Where would you like to travel in the future?
It's quite difficult for me to make the forecast about the future, but I, along with my wife especially, we're dreaming to go in a place where we can have a quiet time. And in our day-to-day life, we are not having much free time to enjoy, and there are a lot of activities we need to do, and for that we have a plan. If we get a chance, though it's quite difficult for us, but if we get a chance, we will try to go to India to see the Taj Mahal, and it is one of the seven wonders in the world. As well as our second plan is, if we have that enough opportunity, then we will travel to Singapore. It is the cleanest city in the world, and actually not city, it's a country as well, and people from all over the world admire the beauty of that city, and a lot of opportunities for the tourists. So we dream to witness live.
Thank you very much, and this is the end of your part one.
Thank
Now, in this part two, I'm going to give you a topic. I would like you to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. Before that, you will have 1 minute to think what you're going to say. So, here is the topic. Here is the paper and pencil. All right, could you start speaking now, please?
Thank you, sir, for such an interesting topic. Now, I would like to talk about a child who is none other than my daughter, and her name is Aisha Siddiqa Promi. And more interestingly, I want to remind you one thing, that her name is Aisha Siddiqa Promi, and my name is Albokar Siddiq Parvez. And if I make an abbreviation, both names stands for ASB. And she is my apple of eyes because in the world she is my most and closest person in the so far I love. And although we are staying away from each other because for my corporate activities I need to stay in the town areas, and but whenever I get free time, especially on my weekends, I just like to go back to my country and have some quality time with her. And let me talk about some of her characteristics. She is naughty. Maybe not only she, all of the children in the world who are up to the age of close to 4 or less than 5, they are spending their time in all the time. They're just having some activities, but they're never getting tired. And my daughter is 1.5 year old, and her birthday is 9th November. And she has some good quality as well, though she is very young. She doesn't know the differences between what is good and what is bad. And she likes to play with water, and so whenever I get her close to me, and I take to her to the bank of Kushera river, and sometimes I make her shower as well on the water of river, and it's a fun for her. And as she's not getting me all the time close to her with family members, so whenever she sees me, she's over the moon. And I in the future I like to make her a teacher, as I'm a teacher, and in this profession is the most noble one for me. And I want that she does something for the society as well as for the country in the future. So I'm doing my best and trying with my everything, and by hook or by crook I want to see her in a position where everyone in the society praises her.
Thank you. And this is the end of part 2. Now in this part 3, I'd like to ask some general questions related to the topic that I have provided you. How much time do children spend with their parents in your country, and do you think that is enough?
Well, sir, first of all, I have to make a comparison between the life of city and countryside. Majority of the people in city, they are being busy with their corporate activities, and parents are coming back to home late. So they're not keeping themselves with the touch of their children. And in that case, children are being also busy with their mobile phones, sometimes playing games, watching cartoons or different kind of videos. On the other hand, if we look at the life of village, the women are staying at home as their housewives as profession, and they're just keeping in touch with their children and taking care of them. And also the fathers who are working outside of the field or doing any job, or they're having business, little business like that, they're coming back home earlier and putting their times with their children. So for the village I would say the time is enough, but for the city dwellers I would say it's disappointing.
How important do you think spending time together is for the relationship between parents and children?
Well, it's a quite interesting questions on the perspective of today's world, as we are living in the modern world, and the relationship between children and parents are being complicated with the passage of time. So if we want to make a better society, and if we want to have the mental development of children, then it is quite important to make a strong relationship between the children and parents. Especially let's talk about the juvenile delinquency, which is very common. If we look at the television programs and different news channel or different articles on the newspaper, we can see that children are being involved with different kind of crimes. So if we want to stop them, or if we want to keep themselves away from going astray, then we have to take the helps of the bondage of between family members like parents and the children. So I think this is the one point. And secondly, if children are having good relationship with the parents, they are more likely to have good citizens in the future.
Have relationships between parents and children changed in recent years? If though, why do you think that is?
As I told earlier, definitely I can see that there is a clear change between the relationship or the bondage between parents of present time and past time. The main reason behind this is the breach of family bondage. Like in earlier time, we used to see that there were joint family, but now we can see only the nuclear families, and the number of the nuclear families has been extended with the passage of time, and in future it will go on. And in a joint family, there were some possibilities of getting ideas and getting love and affections from the superiors like grandparents, but nowadays they do not have this chance. So the children or the fathers, they are being always busy with themselves, and for that reason they're not keeping themselves close to their next generation. And because of this gap, and I think there are some also things coming from the technological advancement. Children are being always self-dependent, and they are doing the things that whatever they like. And for that reason, I think that the relationship between parents and children are being different compared to the present and past.
What are the most popular free time activities with children today?
Well, according to my knowledge, I can say that for the children, the most popular activities like drawing pictures in free time, and going outside and traveling with parents, and watching different kind of natural beauties, or watching wild animals from the zoos. These kind of activities are mostly common, especially in my country. And we have some gardens for the children, and amusement parks, and where children can have some times. And also this kind of things can keep themselves from stress that they get from their academic life.
Do you think the free time activities children do today are good for their health?
Well, it depends. First of all, there are two types of activities children like to do. Something they are doing inside their home, I mean indoor activities, and sometimes they are being with the outdoor activities. First of all, I will go for the outdoor activities. If they are involved with different kind of outdoor activities like playing games, or hanging out with their parents, and watching different things which are natural, then I think these kind of things can be very beneficial for the development of their health. Not only actually physical health, but also it contributes to their mental development. On the other hand, there's something they do inside their home, like watching the television programs for longer hour of times, and sometimes they are also being busy with their video games. But these kind of activities, I would say that detrimental to their health, as they're putting their times for long time with a screen, and it creates some diseases like insomnia. Sometimes they are having problem with migraine, etc.
How do you think children's activities will change in the future? Will this be a positive change?
Well, sir, actually, it's quite difficult to talk about the future. But if we make a consideration about the present activities done by the children around us, especially in my country, then I will say that they are heading towards a negative changes in the upcoming days. For instance, in the earlier time, when we were a child, we used to go outside on the fields and playing with football, and we used to have a quality time, and those were very beneficial for our health. But now, if we look at the scenery from different sources, and in our day-to-day life, majority of the children are getting involved with virtual activities. They make friends online, and even they don't know them. And sometimes we can see that the teenager gang are they being immersed, and they are doing different juvenile occurrence. For example, they are sometimes snatching the people's belongings. And as the detachment between parents and children has been alarmingly reducing, in future it might be possible that they will do more crimes. But it depends on the authority of how they are dealing with this kind of children. And overall, I would say that it's a negative trend, and if we do not work against this, then it can be a detrimental situation in the upcoming days for us.
Thank you very much, and this is the end of your speaking test.